Every time, man.
I can't
Hi there, guys. Welcome to Outdoors, Brews, and Barbecue. This is Carlos, your host. In today's episode, we got two new guests in here. Bro, I can't see anything. The smoke just keeps on coming out.
Looking like how high?
Over to my right, sir. Go ahead and present yourself into today's podcast.
Hello, everybody. My name is Matthew. I'm here from Miami, and I have an Instagram page, Smoke What You Drink, focusing specifically on craft beers and barbecue.
All right. Perfect podcast to be coming into, man.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. And then over to my left, we have a new guest in town also.
Hi, everybody. My name is Caitlin. I don't have any cool Instagram page on my end.
Oh, all right.
Too cool for school.
But you like beer, which is why we're here.
Alcohol.
You love any sort of alcohol from what I heard. Right?
That's
All
perfect.
Hey, don't throw me out there.
Well, in today's podcast episode, we're going to be jumping into another local brewery here in Miami, Florida, called Lincoln's Beard Brewing Co. Anybody been there?
I have.
Not me.
Not you? All right, sweet. So you'll be tasting 5 different beers tonight. We're going to start off with the number 1 beer on the list, called the Meatball Pilsner. All right, Meatball Pilsner ranges in at a 4.9 APV.
A little low.
So a little low in my ballpark of beers, but between the ones I tasted there, I thought you guys might like this one out.
Okay.
So I went ahead and selected the Meatball Pilsner as our first beer of today's episode. So Meatball Pilsner, a hopped forward, dry and crispy Pilsner, dry hopped with a whatever word they put on here for me. Collar 2 mid floor. Collar 2 mid floor and Zech says for a herbal and floral aroma and flavor.
Collar 2.
I don't know if that's a video game, bro, but that's literally what I took off the website. We'll stick with what it says there.
You didn't pre-read?
No, I didn't pre-read. I copied and pasted. But let's go ahead and let's pop this open. Let's start passing this around because they only had crowlers, as you can see.
Crowler.
So we got a 32-ounce crowler here. Don't do a volcanic eruption here, man. Come on.
So you got to tap the top, man.
That's why you got to tap the top. All right, let me build some space for this pour because I ain't gonna get baptized here. And this is gonna calculate that I'm gonna make this around the world with the 5 tasters. That way. Send this the other way. Send that way. I almost tilted over right there. That would have been
That would have been rough.
That would have been rough. And then we gotta send this.
It's like I just took a piss test.
Who's this one?
It's like taking a piss test in a cup.
Yeah, look at it.
That is almost exactly what it looks like. I'm gonna put it here in front of the camera here in a moment.
I'm just like, what the? Not a bad thing, but.
All right, so as you can see, we have that nice Pilsner type color tone. It's got a nice goldish standard Pilsner color. You guys go ahead and start with the tasting so you guys can start telling me what you guys flavor out of this beer, and then I can go ahead and taste mine into the equation.
It's fruity.
It's what?
Yeah. Fruity.
Fruity? Any sense? Do you smell anything when you approach the cup?
I smell beer.
You smell beer? Yeah, I'm just bringing that into the equation because sometimes beers have a specific smell to them. So,
Hey, before we go further, there's no mango in any of these beers, right?
Not.
I should have asked that at the beginning.
Should have asked that at the beginning. Not to my knowledge.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out. You have an EpiPen?
No, it's not that serious.
Not that serious?
I'll be
All
good.
right. I just want to make sure. I didn't bring my EpiPen, so.
No, we'll be good.
All right. I don't want to have to be digging up no air holes.
No.
Right. What, we're getting comments about on the screen?
No, my dad joined.
Oh, your dad joined?
Yep, Florida bass fishing.
Oh, yeah, that would be your dad for
yeah,
sure.
look at that.
That's to be expected with
How
that name.
funny.
All right, let me go ahead and let me jump into the tasting here. My mouth is a little dry.
So it looks like on chat we got a few people that have been to Lincoln's Beard Brewing.
While we're tasting this, let me go into some interesting facts that I found out while I was there tasting beers, right? Lincoln Beard Brewing Co. is on Bird Road. It's right to the east of the Don Shula Expressway. They also have a pizza place they opened up on US 1 near Northern Cutler Bay called Maxwell's Brothers Clothing Store, which is an actual beer and pizza location.
What?
They're off of US 1 and like 168th. I have seen the menu. I have yet to personally taste the location, but everything I've heard from these pizzas, they are awesome. And then to add on to the equation, everyone wants dessert after a pizza. So they went ahead and bought out the lot that they had right next door. And they made an ice cream type location called Crybaby. So after you finish up with that pizza, you've had a beer there with your pizza, because they also have some of their Lincoln Brewing Co. beers at their Maxwell Pizza location. So you can have beer and pizza, and then you can transition right over to the little ice cream shop right next door.
Oh, that sounds perfect. I haven't heard
The
of
combination.
I was like, darn, y'all really thinking far out there, man. Y'all really got a combination going on. All right, to have that pizza to go with beard. Yo, what's up with that?
It's Slowpoke
Slowpoke?
Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's me as far as the tasting. I got it.
Maxwell's actually has some of the coldest beer. If you go, their beer is
Really?
like ice cold,
I've never been there. I gotta go. This is the first I've heard of it.
and their pizza's good.
Well, I was
Dang.
referred to it by one of our coworkers, and then when I went there, they were not open yet, and I was like, damn, I really am hungry. I cannot wait for this place to open, so I'm going somewhere else. But everything that was on that menu caught my eye. As far as a pizza, I would be willing to try.
Mm-hmm.
And then from what I heard from the guy at the actual brewery when we were out there, I was like, oh, I guess I need to go give it a second shot and try it out, because the menu looks nice. You look at them pictures on the pizzas and you're like, damn, I want that.
See, I'm basic. I'm like cheese pizza. Like,
You too simple, son.
Is
Yeah,
that
I
See, don't
like
get me
stuff
wrong.
on my pizza.
like I don't mind tasting, pepperoni, putting other stuff on there. But you ask me what type of pizza I want, especially to see if a place is good, cheese. Because if they can't make a good cheese pizza, they just can't make a good pizza. Period.
You're
True.
right, because that is the basic
Foundation.
ground. Basic
Foundation.
foundation right there. If you can make a pizza and you can't make a good cheese pizza,
Yeah,
you're-
you can't. You put throw
you're
top on it,
SOL.
it's gonna be awesome. Blech. Awful.
They do
Awesome.
like
Blech.
events there too. Like they have, I know not too long ago they had like a Star Wars night.
Oh,
man.
interesting.
Nice.
So I'm
Really?
guessing they have like
Mhm.
probably get game nights and
I'm sure. I haven't gone for
That
one of
sounds
them.
fun.
I just
I mean,
know someone that we work with went to the Star Wars night.
got it. I know at the actual main brewery, you can do weddings, you can do parties, you can reserve the second floor. From what I understood,
Yeah,
It's-
friend of mine had a wedding. That is.
Had
It was,
his wedding
it was
there.
really
Yeah,
nice. It was.
I remember. And then as far as outside seating, they got a crap ton of outside picnic tables. So
Mhm.
they're, it may seem like they're
And food
small
trucks.
internally, and then they have tacos and tattoo food truck in the back.
I love
so
food trucks.
you already got the food truck ready to pair
Oh.
up with whatever beers you're tasting while you're at the brewery, right? But let's bring it back to Meatball Pilsner here. And I continue the same name because it's very. When I saw the name, I was like,
Meatball.
meatball. Give me that meatball. And
Let me get
it's,
that meatball.
It's a unique name to go with a beer. I ain't gonna lie.
What?
More of the smoke.
Get some smoke for that. Get some smoke.
But let's go down to if you had to pair this beer up with a platter. What do you think would be a good platter to pair this up with?
So personally, when it comes to pilsners for me, and especially living in Miami, this is the beer that I'm drinking between 11 and 3 p.m.
For sure.
because you can't have anything with too high in alcohol content, but you want something that's light, crisp, and something that's also, there's a decent amount of water left in there to still constitute as hydration. But I think
nothing too high.
Yeah.
but I think something like this, Pilsner to me is what I consider a weekday beer. And that to me is something simple, like a basic grilled chicken or a simple burger, like a smash burger on the griddle or even over fire. But simple meal with a Pilsner, always.
Okay. I can agree with that. Any side dish you would put that simple burger or that simple chicken?
Depends on what the main dish is. And unfortunately, again, counting the amount of beers, sometimes the main dish gets an excessive quantity before we even consider a side dish. Sometimes it's an afterthought. So it depends.
I mean, or sometimes the side dish is just in between the beers you're tasting, right?
That's right. That's right.
Especially if you're out by the grill, because you're just picking off of whatever you're cooking. Yeah.
Got to make sure it's safe.
Right. And you don't want to light yourself on fire neither.
Say, speak
Not,
for yourself.
not that I have. You know.
Never? You sure?
Oh, I have.
Never
Trust
have
me.
I ever.
I have. I said that sarcastically. I ran out of lighting fluid once, so I resulted to the next nearest chemical.
Oh
And-
my.
Wasn't rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, I
was it?
burned.
No. It
Yo,
was something else that was flammable.
I
I
hope it
burned my
wasn't-
eyebrows one time spitting
accelerants,
moonshine.
No accelerants.
So I let it burn for a good 15 to 20 minutes, just to make sure that whatever fluids were left that were well burned out. Yeah, but we got the fire rolling. But let's get to the outdoor section of today's episode while we finish up this Pilsner and before we jump into other beers we have along the way.
Before we run up, what do you rate this from 1 to 5?
I like light beers, so I would say this is probably like a 4, 5. I like the
Or you
fruity
can see, you
flavor
can
to
also,
it.
there's in between. You're like 4 point.
Yeah, I would say
4.25.
in between a 4 and a 5.
So you can
I
go,
like the fruity taste to
4.5?
it.
you
or
can
would
go
you say
anywhere from a
4.25?
0.25. So it goes by quarters. You can go
Yeah.
anywhere from a 0.25
Yeah, there you
to
go.
a 5.0 flat.
All right, I'll do a 4.25.
4.25.
Yeah,
Dang, that's
it's not
For
bad.
me, and I get it. You like light beers. I'm not a light beer person, so my number may not be that high. So don't feel sad. All right. But I'll let you all give it a number first.
what?
So if I had to rate this, I'd say 5 being the best, probably 3.75. Because this is something where I definitely would have multiple of them. But again, Pilsner's got one of those things where personally, with the way that it sits on the palate in the back, if it's all I'm drinking, after a while, that flavor just is not something I want to continue.
No.
So, yeah. So
This
3.75 I think is fair. Good flavor, good
All right.
crisp, and not too dry as well.
All right. Chen gave it a 3.
gave
We
it a
got a
3?
3 from Chen.
okay.
I give it a 3.5.
I'm right there between that 3.5 and a 3.75
Okay, I don't feel too bad.
because
It's all right. You know, everyone got their rating.
It's all good.
not that I'm hating on a Pilsner because I have Pilsners in my untapped list that I have pretty high up there. But I think that to me, a Pilsner is like we said, it's a weekday beer. It's a refreshing beer. It's a beer you want to have on a hot summer day. It's a good 4th of July beer to go for if you're out there doing burgers, hot dogs on a standard barbecue. If you're going to be out there getting fancy with brisket, ribs, baby back ribs, pork chop, bacon wrap, filet mignon on a smoker, I'm not going to be having a Pilsner. I'm going to go for something that meets that specific type of platter a little bit better. So if I had to go for a rating on this, I'm going to stick with a 3.75. But I don't feel like I would buy Meatball continuously. But if I did have an event that I know that I would have people that would like this beer, yeah, I will buy it.
Always good to have
It's
some
not a
variety on
bad-
hand.
Exactly. It's not a bad Pilsner. So I know that there's people out there that would like this type of beer. Y'all are reading the comments.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Apparently, Caitlin got,
I got fans, you know?
They want
Hey,
autograph.
Caitlin, bring them the fans, bro.
That's crazy. There goes the smoke.
Apparently, there goes the smoke
again.
You need to clean your room.
Oh my god.
No,
Out
Caitlin,
of
bring in the fans.
control. Can you remove people from there?
Oh man, trust me, we've had episodes where we wish we could have done that. But,
Oh my gosh, yes.
you know, there was,
Yes.
and there's been patterns to that specific individual or those
Oh, yeah?
scenarios.
Dang, why haven't I
So-
been a part of them?
But we haven't had that sort of visitor back into an episode again. So you know, let's knock on wood. Let's keep it that way for now.
I don't know.
Whoops.
So
All right.
like I said, I would give it a 3.75. That would be my rating for
3.5 or 3.75?
3.75.
3.75. All right.
3.75 is my rating on Untapped for the
So
Meatball
it got
Pilsner.
good between 3.5 and 4.25. That's actually not bad for a Pilsner.
That's not bad. I think it's going to land right into the 4 flat with the ratings that we gave it.
Hmm.
Yeah, more or less. Looking at outdoor accessories, right? I was going to bring a national park into this episode, but I was like, you know what? Let's keep some simple accessories instead of going into details on a national park out there today. So let's take a look at everyday carries, right? Always good to have some mini flashlights on you.
Mhm.
I'm going to put them here into the camera so we can see the 2 models we have here today. The smaller one to the left is the one I'm going to be starting off with. This one is called the Coast HX5. It is available at your near Home Depot. All right, this little guy right here with a red band on the top, right over here. This guy ranges in at $19 plus Uncle Sam. And $19 plus Uncle Sam gives you a total of 460 lumens when you hold down that button at full blast. And those 460 lumens can also
I hit
last
myself
you.
in the face.
They can last you at about a good 45 to about an hour and 15 if
That's
you
good.
maintain it at those 460 lumens the entire round. Some features about that flashlight also is, and let me redirect myself here to my notes, right off of its main source. We can go with pure beam focusing, so you can pull the head forward and back to zoom, make the spot of light more narrow or wider to cover a more focus point or a wider band of light. You can go into single mode, which is the high beam part, which is the 460 lumens. It does have a nice clip to it. It has a dual clip, two-way clip, where you can put it either on your cap lid or you can just use it as a clip to the pocket. That right there was the only pro winning over the one that's next here to be covered. The clip on the other one doesn't have that feature, so I was like, because that little feature right there has saved me multiple times. Whether it's been a flat tire, whether it's been trying to see if something's cooked on the grill after the sun's going down, you just put it around the tip of your cap and you have a flashlight there ready to use, like it's a little headlamp.
Hands free.
Hands free, man. It is IP54 water resistant. So you get rained on, you drop it in a small puddle, you're still good to go. And then of course it's slide focusing, so you just slide the head up and down in order to use that pure beam focusing optic. All right.
You slide it down the head.
You just slide the head up and down. All right.
Is that the buzzer in here?
that good old smoke is the buzzer. Oh.
Instead of us having little sounds and stuff, we get smoke.
You get smoke coming out from under the sofa. So again, this is Coast HX5 small flashlight. If I had to describe how long this is, so you can picture it clipped onto your pocket or not, I would say this is about 3.5 to 4 inches in length. So you can clip it right there in the side of your pocket. You got a small little flashlight ready to go. It does use one AAA, so I would recommend probably getting a rechargeable. Sorry, not AAA, AA battery.
Yeah, that's really small.
No. One AA battery. Or if you have a multiple pack of AA batteries, you can just switch them out. But it uses one AA battery. The next victim over to my collection is a flashlight made by a company called Wubin, W-U-B-E-N. This is the C3. C3 price tagged at about $32. This one's got 4 different light modes. It goes into 200, 400, 600, and maxes out at 1200 lumens. So if you are out at a campsite or you're out in the middle of nowhere and you really got to beam a good 100, 75 to 100 yards out, you have that little thing right in your hand. You can zoom out that far with the brightness. Having it at that 1200 lumen setup, it will last you about 45 minutes to about an hour and 15. All right.
An hour? And how long?
15.
Damn.
All right. So I would say if you don't need the full 1200, keep it at a lower standard so you can pull more out of that battery. The battery is rechargeable. It does have a USB-C port, so you just plug it up to the USB-C port. I wore it out the other day completely to see how long it would take me to go from 0 to 100% on the battery as far as charging.
Mm-hmm.
It took about 25 to about 35 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not too bad.
So when I went back and I checked on it multiple times, it wasn't ready yet. When I went back about 32 and a half minutes later, it was already fully charged. Little light on the outside lights up green. You're ready to unplug and go.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that. I like the fact that you can. It has a rechargeable battery. The fact that you live with a little.
Yeah, it's got a little plastic right on the front. You just pull that little rubber cap right off. It's on the tip.
You pull the rubber cap right off.
You pull the rubber cap right off the tip, and then you just plug it right in the
chin.
hole. Plug it right in that USB-C, and you're ready to charge it up, and you're ready to roll out. And you have 2 flashlights that could function as your everyday carry flashlights there. They're not ridiculously priced. There are flashlights out there in the market that are over $100. I don't see a necessity to pay $100+ for a flashlight. I will pay $100+ for a knife.
Crazy
or Yeti.
Or
it
Yeti.
cooks for you.
I will pay $100+ for a Yeti.
Oh my god!
But
We're the Yeti clan over here.
I would not pay $100+ for a flashlight. All right, so that's why I went ahead and these are 2 recommendations that you can find. They're both available on Amazon. The Woobin I did not find at Home Depot. The Coast is available through Coast.com, Amazon.com, or HomeDepot.com. All right, and again, that is the Woobin C3 and the Coast HX5. All right, I'm ready for another beer.
Oh, I'm definitely ready.
All right, let's get the other beer out here. Get these out of the camera. So next beer we are looking at here today, guys, is we're jumping into a sour. So it's called Lawyers Don't Surf. Sorry, it's an IPA. Not a sour. The other one. Lawyers Don't Surf.
I really like these cans.
This is another 32-ounce crawler with Lawyers Don't Surf, a hazy and juicy IPA hopped with Aramillo and Kroongeist, born on Strange Beast, proper and fan favorite.
I love
right.
you reading these. These are the
Bro, some of these descriptions are like,
it's like, what the hell's going on?
I think that was the other part that I was like, the descriptions I feel like could have been a little bit better, could have had a little bit more detail of what's in the beer, what sort of fruits were used, what sort of, what level of hoppiness are we looking at. But I didn't see that in any of these descriptions, so that was my to these beers on this episode. But again, the brewery's nice, man. If you guys are willing to go check it out, here, bro, I'll do your tapping.
It's around here, right? That's what you were
It's
saying?
on Bird Road, and I believe it's 78th.
So I think when you also mentioned before that there's a secondary place that goes with Lincoln's Beard, and you mentioned it now with this one, because where I had found out about this beer was at Strange Beast, which is actually kind of like West Kendall area. And it's very similar to that setup with having a pizza spot where they've got killer pizzas, awesome wood-fired oven, nice extended outdoor seating, events and everything that go along with it. They have trivia, they have karaoke, and then right down the spot, like just maybe 2 doors down, there's a place called Sweet Melody, which is a small batch ice cream shop. And they are just awesome. I mean, that's a great full-stop shop. I think it's about Sunset and 152nd.
Okay.
So they're pretty easily located to get to, but they have killer beers, and a lot of these ones here. This is where I got the Lawyers Don't Surf for the first time, and I'm gonna say in advance I'm gonna be biased on this.
Okay.
Just to let
I'll
y'all
take
know.
I think I might have been here for Sandy's like surprise engagement party.
Okay.
You said that there's a second floor on it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I might have been. I just only went once and I don't remember much.
You don't remember much. Well, if you don't remember much from when you went to a brewery, that kind of hints how the night went. Yeah.
It was great.
Definitely fun.
Definitely fun. All right, so here we are tasting.
Definitely smells like an IPA.
Smells like orange.
It definitely has its hoppiness to the smell. It does have that citrusy smell to it also.
It's very fragrant.
So this one has definitely more fragrance than the first beer that we had called Meatball. So looking at this Lawyers Don't Surf IPA, APV levels are ranged in at 6.9% APV. So again, not a bad beer. It's still on the lower side of the spectrum, at least in my opinion. That this is me. Everyone has their own tier of APV levels. So
9 and up.
9 and up. That's
You're
your
dangerous. That's
Tier. That's your
why.
tier level. But let's go ahead and let's describe what we have here. What do we have? Damn, let's all talk at once.
Wait, what?
What do you taste? How do you feel? Would you have this as an everyday beer? Would you have
Absolutely
this?
not.
Absolutely not. You're not an IPA fan.
No, I'm not that fond of IPAs.
Got it. So
It's
you're
not
more-
bad, but would I choose an IPA as an everyday beer? Nah.
No.
Mm.
If you did have to pair that one up to a dish that you think would counterbalance that hoppiness, what kind of dish would you pair that up with? Would you go for a pasta? Would you go for a barbecue dish? Would you go for a fish dish?
Fish.
Not a barbecue dish.
No.
Seafood.
Maybe, I don't know, pasta and beer. Not a good combo.
No.
Maybe a seafood.
Mm. Bro, beer
Maybe.
do you mean pasta and beer is not a good combo?
I
Beer
just
goes with
don't think
anything.
pasta and beer. Like pasta is just so good.
Again, that I think comes down to who makes the pasta, because if the cook sucks, then the pasta sucks.
Maybe it could be a seafood pasta.
Yeah.
Well, that's different.
All right.
If
So,
we're talking seafood pasta, then maybe.
all right. So then, what about what kind of appetizer are we looking at?
Mm.
Because I feel
Chips
like
and dip.
Ooh.
chips and dip. What kind of dip?
Maybe like a buffalo chicken dip.
I'm about
Yeah.
that.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buffalo chicken. Yeah.
So everything that I think, this being I'm an IPA person.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I think IPAs are kind of like, they get a bad rap like cilantro. Like some people, they just taste the bad side of it and they can't taste the good parts. But IPAs, I think that, if your flavor palette kind of allows to absorb it, you almost get a little bit of a sweet aftertaste on them sometimes.
Exactly.
And something like this is one of those ones where I might have had a couple times where I've done 2 or 3 crowlers in a cook. But this is something like a steak sandwich or a brisket meal with some potatoes. I need something heavy to, soak this up. And this is something I'll have with a nice filling meal.
All right. Now we talking. Now that's more of what I was thinking about. I was thinking more like a Philly cheesesteak, and I was thinking about a good like heavy Italian sub to go with it.
Sausage and
Italian
peppers
stuff.
is a sausage and pepper sandwiches is something I make on a very frequent basis, and that's something I would do with it. I probably have
Yeah.
at some point.
Or maybe something like a if I had to relate it to like a barbecue type of dish, I would say like a good broken up pulled pork sandwich, that's filling,
Like
so
a
that
tangy.
you can, because
Like
that pulled pork flavor will kind of counterbalance that hoppiness flavor you're getting off that IPA.
Yeah.
So I think that would be like a good sandwich to pair it up with, and on top of that, you'll have a food coma afterwards just to continue enjoying that hoppiness flavor off that growler you got. Because if you're going one growler on your own, it's going to be at least 4 servings
me.
to fill up that one cup.
Well, you got to finish it before it gets warm, so it also has to go down quick.
That's why I keep the Yeti cooler right next to me. I just put it in there while I enjoy my first cup. Then I go back and I pull it out and continue filling. But I think that's the type of dish in my head that I kind of go for when I think about what kind of dish would I pair this IPA with. If I had to give this IPA a rating from the 0.25 to the 5.0, I myself am landing it at a 4 flat.
All right. We
Yeah.
got 4 from Chen as well.
You got 4 from Chen. I got 4 from me.
I would say
Caitlin?
about a 3. I'm between a 3.5 and a 3.75.
Okay.
That's not too bad for someone who doesn't like IPAs.
Not bad for someone who doesn't like IPAs.
Not
Okay.
bad at all.
All right.
I'll clock it at a 4.25.
4 and a quarter.
4.25.
Okay. All right. So we're at a 4 and a quarter. We're at 4 flat. We're at 3.75. You said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
3.75.
3.75.
I'm at a 4.
You at a 4? Oh wow. So
at a
we
4.
all benched around. This evened out more or less at the 4 flat, 4 and a quarter bench. Not bad.
Just this floral sweetness it has. It's just
It definitely
I
has
like
a
it.
floral aftertaste. After the hoppiness that you feel at the first flavor as you put in your mouth. As you swallow, you then you get that aftertaste afterwards. Y'all dirty minded fools, man. Damn.
I just like how fragrant
What?
this was. Like as soon as you cracked it and the cup came over here, like
Mhm.
you really, the citrus is in your face, and that's a personal like for me. I dig that.
I mean, and there's been different IPAs that I've tasted, and there's been some IPAs that I've tasted where you open up the can and the aroma is so rich that you feel it right as before you even pour it. And then there are some that you don't smell anything at all from the can, but when you put it into the cup, you get that aroma from the serving and you get that whole different experience. There's also scenarios where if this was independent cans and I didn't have to buy a crowler, I would then ask you guys, do you feel any sort of aluminum flavor from the can apart from the flavor of the beer? Because sometimes a beer being canned gives it a different hint of flavor due to the aluminum material, right?
aluminum.
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 No?
So if I can also,
Aluminium.
if I can throw some advocacy towards IPAs, one of the other things too that I think a lot of people sometimes overlook is there is an extensive array of different types of IPAs that exist
Yes.
all throughout both sides of the country as well. You have East Coast IPAs, you have New England style IPAs, you have West Coast IPAs, milkshake IPAs. You know, there's so many different styles of how things can be brewed. And I think that sometimes it might not be a preference of people that they don't like it. They might have just not found that particular realm of flavor that fits their palate in particular.
I'm glad you brought that up. Is my IPA experience when I started, I did start with standard IPAs, and I kind of backed off for a bit because I think that the standard IPAs the hoppiness was strong in a single IPA.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't kind of pair up with my taste buds at that time. And that was when I started tasting different beers. It wasn't now that I'm 670 different beers in, you know, and I can give you an idea of what is it that I'm tasting. But when I started at first, a standard IPA wasn't doing it for me. I had to jump, in order for me to get back into the IPA family, I jumped over to double, triple, and quadruple IPAs.
Right.
All right. And when I tasted a quadruple IPA, man, that I felt like I wasn't having an IPA. I felt like I was having a very neutral, high alcohol level Pilsner like the one we had before this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, this is not bad for an IPA. I can go with this IPA every day. My question was, how many cans can I take with a meal? Because after the first can, I kind of had to go hit the food because the first can was a 16-ounce can, and that got me just on an empty stomach, and that was not a smart move.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel that though, because like personally, you know, being from the Maryland area, I grew up close to Dogfish Head Brewery, and one of my favorite IPAs is Dogfish 90-minute IPA. And anyone who knows anything about brewing, if you understand how hops are introduced, they're introducing hops every minute for 90 minutes. So the complexity and density of that flavor and something like that, I think, really sets a different boundary for what you can absorb out of flavor from an IPA like that. But Golden Drac Quad 9000 or whatever, I think that was the first quad IPA I ever had at Yard House. And I had some help getting out of the restaurant that night. Those ones were pretty strong.
I'm telling you, when you go up to that triple, quadruple level IPA, you kind of gotta, pregame as far as solids are concerned before you can start taking that fluid in, because get ready for it. I know you got a stomach. I know you got a stomach made out of titanium, bro.
Yeah, Haro, you're a whole different breed.
But I'm glad that we were able to introduce Caitlin here to an IPA, because it seems like she typically would not. It seems like she typically wouldn't go for an IPA.
I wouldn't, but this one's not that bad.
And this,
we're going to broaden horizons.
This is from a local brewery here in Miami. So you can go ahead and, for those of you who are on vacation down here, coming down here for spring break, maybe you guys want to go check out
visiting friends. Well, I guess it's past spring break now.
Wait,
it's summer.
Summer's about to end, so spring break is next.
What you mean about summer? About to end? We said summer down here year round. Come on now.
Yeah, not wrong.
But let's see. We have any comments up there that we want to answer to, or are we ready to continue on to our next beer here down the lineup?
Well, if anything, just chat. If you got any questions for us, just make sure to send us some questions. We're willing to answer while we go to the next. What are we doing next?
Well, next we're jumping over to a sour ale.
Oh, okay, perfect. Right. There you go. While we're getting the sour ale,
after that sour ale, we'll jump into our barbecue conversation here.
Oh, perfect.
And then we'll jump back to the beers to finish it off with 2 stouts that we have to.
Some dessert
after the barbecue combination.
I'm ready.
All right, move that cup.
All right, move that cup. It is the only can left in there. All right. It is called the Spice of Life Sour Ale. Another crowler here from Lincoln Beard Brewery.
Yeah.
Go to the 2 cans.
Technical difficulties with the cans right now.
All right, I got that back up. All right. So let's put this here into the can as I finish this IPA here before I start popping that sour open. Damn, you guys already chugged everything. All right. I'm the only one talking crap here.
Come on, man. Stop slow footing it. Let's go.
It's always good to be the quiet one when you're drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is definitely a pro recommendation.
Oh, I can talk and drink. Look at me start. I'll be like, and I'll be done before you. And be like, wait, hold on.
Just put it in your mouth.
Mira.
Oof.
Oh, that one's pretty.
This one's pretty. I forgot about that minor
Wow.
detail.
Oh, that one's red, isn't it?
Yeah, this looked like it came out. This is Dracula's dish right here.
Dracula's.
Oh my god.
Well, but let's
Nom,
go
nom,
ahead
nom.
and let's get some cups over here on. Here I got 4. I need another one. All right. You know where my
Yeah.
fail's at here, guys?
Mm.
If those are my only cups and I don't have cups in there, I forgot about that. The fact that there were 5 beers and not 4.
That's all right. We can
We can
recycle.
reuse.
You can reuse and recycle?
Reuse
Yeah,
and
but
recycle.
we care about the environment, okay?
Okay. All right. I'm good with that.
These are recyclable.
Somebody asked you in chat if these are local beers.
Let's
These
see.
are all local beers.
These are all local beers here in Miami, Florida.
Lincoln Beard Brewery.
So let's pour Dracula's beer here into the can.
Holy cow.
Holy,
That is
That looks
deep.
that looks
delicious.
like wine.
All
That
right.
looks scary.
This
looks
is
amazing.
the sour of the evening. As you can see, it already has some head as we poured it into the cup.
Oh my.
Wow. Head in the studio.
Oh, we got backup. We got backup cups here. I see. All right.
We got the
those ain't
solos.
transparent, but we'll do with that.
The world famous Ritz.
So I feel kind of bad for anyone who's watching who's not from Florida, because getting introduced to sours in Miami and then having sours outside of Miami,
Or two.
it just set
Yeah,
my
two different-
standards way too high. And I drank another one and I'm like, what is this? And then you have to drink it because you spent $18 on that 4-pack. So,
And they're like thinking they're happy with their sours. It's like, no.
but not every sour is fruited, and this
I'm
definitely
gonna-
looks like it's got some fruit in it.
This I was impressed with sour. They had another one right next to it, and by the name of the other one, I had gone for the other one first. I would not order the other one again.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Pass that around to Chen.
And then I got one last cup over here. It is dense. It is it's colorful and dense.
This is thick.
It is thick.
Oh, sorry.
That thick boy.
It is thick. As I tasted this one, I was tasting the other one right next to it, and I was not about the other sour that I was tasting. And
I like this
then the wife went ahead and grabbed my cup to taste it because she was curious due to the color. I never got my cup back. That cup stayed with her, and she drank the rest of that sour.
Ooh.
This one's
So-
good.
Ooh.
This is an
Ooh.
Imperial Sour Ale. It's called Spice of Life Sour Ale. It is an Imperial Sour Ale with blueberries, sweet cherries, and Madagascar vanilla added to the equation.
I can
Alright.
I can
Definitely
literally
taste
taste every individual ingredient you
Yeah.
just listed.
Yeah.
Like, that is so impressive.
So this was one that I really liked out of the 5 that I picked out that day when I came over. It definitely caught my attention versus the sour I was tasting right before it. And the sour right before it, I was like, we got some comments up there we want to answer.
Oh.
We
One
Is it
looks like
actually sour.
oof.
so. It looks like we are being invited to Huntsville to try out their beers.
All right.
About their beer game. It's about the same as ours here in Miami.
Oof.
Them's fighting words
Mm.
right there.
No,
Oh,
that's
it's for real.
you know what? Not fighting words. New things to try.
New things to try. I'm up for that. I'm up for that.
Hey, they
Who's,
might got some.
It's not sour though. For a fruited sour, this is definitely something that comes off very like full-bodied and sweet.
Yeah, it
This
reminds me
one-
more of like what's it called? What's it
It reminds me of a sangria.
There you
like
go.
a framboise? There
Like
we
a
go.
sangria.
Framboise, but a sangria, I think
Oof.
framboise sangria cross is a
Ooh,
good
yeah.
description.
Mm. I like.
It
This
has a
lot.
little bit of a sour taste, but nothing like, oh my God.
It's just
Like a perfect.
just the beginning of that sip, you know.
I can make una batida.
I think it's just that.
I
that
was gonna
first-
say that, yo, a milkshake with this would be
Una batida,
amazing.
Like I could make.
Oh my
one-
god.
I was like, I already make one out of wine. I could
Mm.
definitely make
I
one
can
out of this.
definitely
Why have I
see-
never tried that?
I can definitely see
'Cause
making a
I'd have to
milkshake
make
out
it
of this.
right for you.
Based off of the comment
gotta
up there from the wife, as I can see, she wrote something on the screen. I would have to go back to the brewery and buy another growler just to take to the house, because I have a feeling that she will want to try and dare making a milkshake with this sour ale. But if I had to pair this with a dish, that's going to be a slightly hard call because I don't want to kill the flavor so much of this sour ale. Because again, it's not just sour; it's just that first moment you put it into your mouth, you feel that sourness. But then after that, it's got that sweetness to it too.
Like I kind of want to eat it with a sandwich.
Dark
Some type of like
dark chocolate brownie.
Ooh.
Dang.
Damn.
Dark
Yes.
chocolate brownie.
So,
Yeah.
have you gone
Perfect
to
dessert.
Have you gone to Spanish Mary Brewery?
It's right around the corner.
Right around the
Oh,
corner.
yeah, man. I've
Right
been
around the
there. I've
corner.
been there.
All right, so there's a beer over there you might actually like, which is a strawberry dark chocolate combination.
Oh my gosh,
Also
that
considered
thing
a sour.
Yeah.
was amazing.
No, sours can range, I think, and again, it's very much based on the fruits and everything in it. But something like this with the cherries and blueberries, this is a dessert vibe, like because it gives you that kind of really pungent sweetness.
Mm.
And something that I noticed about this one, especially, I think that first pour out of the can, and this is a borderline inappropriate comment, but I think this beer had the best head
Ready for the smoke?
because like the foam on top was not.
There you go. You get the smoke.
That's
You get
what
the
she
smoke.
said.
The foam on top, it definitely is not the same texture, because you think about how everything tastes throughout your palate and your mouth when you get a full mouthful of beer or food, but this is not improving. But that first initial sip was really good. It definitely increased the
Oh my
flavor
gosh,
on this.
yeah. Oof.
Just put it in your mouth.
All right, so what's everyone's rating? I'll tell Chen's right now. Chen just threw up a 5.
all
Just
right,
gave it
so
5 straight.
We got a 5 straight from Chen.
I'm gonna do another 4.25 on this.
4.25. Okay.
Very good, but just too many other sours to base off of. But it's excellent.
Okay.
I love that.
Caitlin?
It's my first sour. I'm gonna say a 4.75.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, I would
Wow.
definitely get this again.
So you're going to
Okay.
base everything off that one.
Yeah,
What you gonna
this
do?
is my high standing one. He says a 5.
We have another guest in the room also who's saying a 5 over there hidden in the corner.
And
Okay.
he's not a beer drinker, so
And he's
that's
not
yeah.
a beer drinker.
now I know
Okay.
which one to get.
Yo.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a solid 4. Because I think that the one we tasted from Spanish Mary before
that one. I'm with you. I'm with this. I'm a 4 on this one too.
was way it was something I had not
It
tasted
did-
before in a beer.
Yeah.
And I feel like it blew my mind for a sour because I'm not a sour beer fan. And I feel like the other one that we had tasted called Polyjuice really set a standard to
Yeah.
my sour palate.
Mm.
And that one's from Spanish Mary. Unfortunately discontinued. I'm hoping that they do bring it back. Because if they do bring Polyjuice back, I will be buying a crap ton of Polyjuice.
I
And
will
I'll
be
go
there
and
with
try
you.
it.
All right.
Oh, we going.
All right. But I feel that this one does have a good, it's got a good 4 out of 5. I can see me
It's good.
buying this sour and having
It's
a stack
solid.
of this in my fridge as far as growlers are concerned.
Yeah,
Because
'cause
again,
you can't-
they don't
Can't
sell
get cans.
they don't sell cans. So
Well, not yet. You know, don't know if the future on something, but for now,
This
you got
is-
to get crowdless.
This is a good beer for those people who come to a party or a get together who aren't beer drinkers and might like the wine or sangria, like we're saying. Like, this is something I'd buy my wife because she doesn't like beer. She's not really an alcohol drinker, but something like this where it still gets you a little bit of sweetness, that's something I think that, some people can tolerate.
now here's a good question. If you had to choose a meat to pour this onto, to put on the grill,
Well, excuse me.
So,
or it doesn't have to be on the grill. It can be on a pan, it can be on the grill, it can be boiled, it can be however you want to do it. But if you had
Sure.
to choose a meal to blend this with and use it as a seasoning, what kind of meal would you go for?
I'm thinking
Ooh.
a reverse smoke seared New York strip steak and use this beer to make a demi glaze to go with the steak.
Damn,
That sounds good. Wow.
Damn.
I just envisioned that.
bro, now I'm real hungry. Woof. All right,
Yeah.
damn.
Want some more meat, huh?
I want yeah. I need some more meat to go with my juice.
Oh my god.
Let's finish up this sour ale here so we can get into the barbecue topic. But as you see, we rated this a 5 from Chen. We got a 4.75
Mhm.
from Kate.
4.75.
I give it a solid 4.
Give it a
Yeah.
solid 4.
4.25.
4.25.
and 4.25. So not bad for a sour ale. For those of you out there who are not fans of sour ales, oh yeah, what type of meat?
Hey, ¿sí sabe quién
Angel.
es?
Yeah, I know who that is. Let me not.
Previous guest.
Golly.
He was on a former episode talking about meat.
Of course he was. Why does that not surprise me?
It doesn't surprise you, right? Yeah.
Not one bit.
But I definitely consider this a good sour ale. I would definitely recommend this sour
yeah.
ale to anybody who is visiting Miami and you want to pass by Lincoln Beard Brewing Co. And while they still have the sour ale, because of course they make this by small batches, so while it lasts, if you are near Lincoln Beard Brewing Co., swim by, pick this up. This one was not bad for a sour ale. And again, the name of the beer, just so we can clarify and not just call it a sour ale. Let me unlock my iPad here. Is called the Spice of Life Sour Ale. It does have 8.5 APV, by the way.
Oh, surprise.
Ooh.
'Cause I was going to ask you about that because you
Reminds me
didn't
of
give it the APV. That was
I didn't
like,
give it an APV level earlier.
Don't tell
'Cause
your
I-
friends when you pour this. at your
I
party.
wanted you to
exactly. That's
experience.
another reason why you should like give it to people that don't drink much because
Yeah.
they won't even know. Like surprise.
This was very surprising for an 8.5% APV.
It
You know,
reminds me of like I could drink this and be watching a movie all day.
Mm.
Like it's one beer that,
until you get up to take a piss and you're like, oh,
and I'm walking
You're
to
like,
the
wait,
side
what's
like,
going
oh,
on?
there it
let me
goes.
calibrate. Let me calibrate before my next step.
That's an essential factor when you're drinking and cooking for a long period of
Yeah.
time because you don't realize.
If there is an older individual listening to this podcast who is a few states away or currently on vacation, let's say, who likes to cook and barbecue barefoot, this is not a beer I would recommend you have while you are grilling out in the sun. Because I see that barbecue fork landing on your barefoot again.
Oh, you said again?
Again.
Someone you know?
So it's already happened.
Oh no.
No. All right. So let's go into the barbecue section, man. What do we got for the barbecue section while we finish up the sour ale? Now we're gonna move this camera here from the side. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my sour ale here. And we're gonna go
On
out
slow
to take a visit to a Char-griller barbecue, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That is
Right now, if you're
correct.
live, you seeing a quick run through of the studio.
No,
Welcome.
I'm amazed it's actually Char-griller because I myself have a Char-griller at home, right? Char-griller's been the brand that I've been beating the crap out of and using and enjoying for the past 6.5 to 7 years of my grilling hobby. And I have currently the one that I have at the house is called the Char-griller 50/50.
Okay.
So for those of you out there who are, looking for a barbecue to start up at home, it is a great startup because you have a little bit of both worlds, right? You have the gas side with a gas stove, you have the gas grill, and then as you go into the charcoal domain, right? The charcoal realm, and that's when you can get into traditional barbecuing and potentially smoking because you can add a smoker to the side of the Char-griller 50/50.
Right.
It's an additional attachment. It doesn't come included. There are some that come pre-assembled, and you can have that additional add-on at the side. But the one we have out here in today's episode, I'm going to hand it over to our barbecue master over here to the right, who is our special guest.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I have two things here that I'm showing you guys. I am a brand ambassador for Char-griller grills for about 1.5 years now. And this one that we're looking at right now is called the Acorn Junior. So this is actually my dedicated camping or kind of tailgate grill. It actually doubles as a smoker. And if we can close the lid real quick just to kind of get the profile again to look and see what it looks like. This is essentially, so a lot of people are familiar with hearing Big Green Egg or Kamado Joe, which are kind of the expensive counterparts. This little grill right here comes in around $170. And it is about 15 inches in diameter. So you can still get about 6 burgers down. I've smoked, about, 24 individual wing sections on it. But this thing is great because it is very portable. It's very easy to toss in the back hatch of your car. Looking on the lower level of it, one of the things that separates this grill versus other traditional Kamado style grills, and Kamado is referencing the egg shape, is that the lower section of the grill, a lot of the times when people are using Kamado grills, you have to take everything out to clean out the grill. This grill, actually, in the larger counterparts, they come with a detachable ash pan on the base of the grill, so that when you're using lumped charcoal, you can actually reuse that charcoal once the fire is suffocated, and that way you're not constantly adding fuel every single time that you cook. So something like this, where it might be standing about 20 inches tall, maybe might be 15 inches wide on the cooking grate. I've still cooked a 10-pound Boston butt in this, smoking it, and you don't even have to add charcoal. So these little tiny grills are actually like miniature convection ovens. And once you get that temperature circulating inside, there's a ceramic diffuser stone directly under the cooking grate, and it allows the heat to kind of come up and around and then back out the top. So it's really neat to have. It's incredibly versatile, like I'm saying, grilling, smoking, whatever you want to do with this. And you can go from 200 to 700 degrees in this. So,
Not bad.
it's pretty impressive what this little grill. Now, like I'm saying and referencing, you can see where this grate is at. It's got these kind of little teeth that hold it in place so that it doesn't fall out. If we look over top of the cooking surface, you can kind of see where that diffuser plate is on the inside. I have it positioned inside the grill right now, so that when you have charcoal burning, the heat is actually coming around that plate, up and around, like I'm saying. So it kind of makes a complete circle before it comes in and out. So that allows the heat source to not be directly under your meat that you're cooking and burn it. So you also see a gasket around that top lid, which makes it incredibly airtight. So your temperature is maintained for the duration throughout the cook here. But
cook that dude that they just showed.
This is one of 5 grills that I have. It's the easiest one that I could bring into here.
Right.
They do make a traditional style Kamado grill, which is 22 inches in diameter, which is my kind of go-to grill that I use for almost anything.
Okay.
The biggest thing that I love about Kamado grills, regardless of the brand, is the efficiency. Because when you have good charcoal, and my actual sponsor that I have, The Good Charcoal, which I have a bag next to, you can purchase at Home Depot and Lowe's. They were actually founded at the beginning of the pandemic, and this company here sources a lot of their wood. This is acacia wood that comes out of Africa. And what they do is they actually clear a lot of overgrowth in Sahara and other areas that are detrimental to wildlife. So it's kind of a conservation effort. And then they also are very much community focused here in the States and working with communities in need. So as a teacher, I constantly am cooking for school events or other coworkers or whatever. So I always love the fact that whenever I'm feeding people, I'm feeding with the intention and knowing that, I'm helping out and being a part of my community with what I'm doing. My barbecue and barbecue in general is never just individually. It's to share. And this is a conversation I had with someone the other day. They're like, why do you like to cook outside when you live in Miami? I was like, I love sharing food with people. I was like, what? How do we not get that?
But be outside. This is
we're
Miami.
cooking right now,
exactly.
right?
We're in Miami.
What's that?
We're putting some burgers on there now. We're ready.
We have to take it outside. We have to take it outside. There is some rule about carbon monoxide in the indoors, but this little thing is absolutely excellent. You can get it at Char-Griller's website. That's chargrillergrills.com. You can get it via Amazon, and it has a neat little cover that you can just toss on it. But I mean, that thing is badass. I took it on a 2-week road trip last summer. I went to several different state parks, towing a little camper with my wife and daughter. And then we drove up to North Carolina to stay at a cabin for a week with my parents. And I must have cooked every single night on that grill and only had to add charcoal maybe 6 times in 2 whole weeks.
Wow.
Really?
So it gives you the idea of how efficient with the
That's
way.
impressive.
Because
So would you say you can take that whole 1 pack for that whole
I only took 1 bag of charcoal for the whole 2 weeks. So that's what I'm saying.
And did you
because
use it all, or did you have some left?
I still had some left. But see, that's the benefit of having lumped charcoal versus briquettes, because briquettes are meant to completely disintegrate and burn into ash. When you're using something like lumped charcoal, that's an actual piece of wood that's already been burned down. So the acacia wood is much more dense than something like your typical hickory or post oak, and it burns a lot longer. So that charcoal, I actually need even less than traditional amounts. So for that grill right there, I would need maybe 2 cups of charcoal, and I could cook it 350 degrees for maybe 2-3 hours.
Damn, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And you said this grill ranges at about $180.
170, 180, depending where you buy it. If you want to smoke in it and get the diffuser stone, might be another 15 or so.
Okay.
But
That's
I
not
mean,
bad.
when you're thinking about terms of you're having a highly efficient grill and smoker, which is portable, I think that is almost unbeatable. If I have to say a con, I think is just the design of transporting. I'm fortunate to have a hatchback, so it's no problem for me. It would probably even fit in a trunk if it was tall enough. But now, again, you can't beat the price, I think, with where this is.
Other than the transportation part of it, if we had to say, let's compare with you described the 22-inch versus the 15-inch that we have out in the hallway there.
Mm-hmm.
How's the 22-inch differentiate from this one as far as the convenience of how many things you can cook, or, as far as its size, its height? It's definitely heavier. I have an idea that weighs a good 35 to 40 pounds.
Correct. That's
that one that you have out there, the 15-inch.
Right.
So the 22, I'm guessing, is more up into the 55 up to 70 pound range.
55. The model that I have actually comes with a metal cart attached to it, but the entire 22-inch grill with a metal cart attachment, I still bought for $299 about 2 years ago. So you think about how much it costs to buy a comparison grill. I'm still well underneath, and it's not ceramic, but at the same time, I just said I'm a teacher, so that fits within my budget as to where I could do it. Now, depending upon what grill I use and what your purpose is, if you want to be able to smoke barbecue or you want to grill, I try to get people to understand that those are two very different things. Because grilling and smoking, someone asked me, they're like, well, what's the difference? I was like, there's a reason I have 5 different grills at home, because they all do something very different.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I had friends who have had 4th of July barbecues, but their definition of barbecue was a simple gas grill, and that was it. They had never experienced what a charcoal grill really was.
Mm-hmm.
And this was on a summer trip, not this summer that's just, that we're almost over with. It was last summer. So, and we were at a resort, and we did an open pit, charcoal grill. And it's, when it comes to grilling in different styles, when you're in an open pit, it's not the same as when you are in a closed lid smoker, where that food can circulate that smoke over and over again,
right,
and get that flavor from the type of wood or charcoal that you're using. I like using wood logs a whole lot, so I like having mesquite wood or maybe hickory or maybe some apple wood logs, and you get those different flavors from what type of wood you're using.
Right.
But when you're using an open pit, that's very difficult to keep in that rotation, because the smoke just goes right.
So. That also comes down to things like understanding ratios, because another thing that a lot of people do when they buy a grill like this, or even, regardless of the brand, people just dump in a bag of charcoal or what they think is a proper amount, and not realizing that's way too much, know, or understanding for smoking, okay, my fire doesn't need to be this big before I close the lid. Otherwise, it's never going to get down to where you need it to. Now, also the other difference with like what you're referencing with the smoke flavor, that comes to your ratio of how big your fire is, what the size is of your pit, and if you're cooking over an open surface or you're cooking in something like an offset smoker. Now, I have a 250-pound, 1/4-inch thick steel offset smoker that I smoke briskets, pork butt, and jerky out of. And the reason that I use that grill specifically, I don't grill in there. You can, but I don't. The reason I use that is because the more ambient space that you have around for the air to circulate allows it to progress through the chamber and fill before it exits out of where your smokestack is at. So a lot of the times when it comes to smoking, I like to have a much bigger cooking chamber. And that also translates into the science of what, if you look at barbecue and you see that red ring on the outside, that is kind of a molecular change that happens when a combination of heat, moisture, and smoke and the proteins have that bond where the smoke actually penetrates into the meat and leaves that ring. So there's so many different factors that you have to kind of account for when it comes to smoking. When you want to grill, sometimes it's just a matter of closing the lid at the proper temperature. And if you have wood present in a charcoal grill, you can get that color and flavor of the wood. Now, I can't speak too much to gas grills because only gas grill I have is a griddle. So it's heating up cast iron, but there's still a lot of things that you can do with sticking a wood chunk directly over one burner.
Well, that was going to be my next comment was, for those people out there with gas grills who are willing to explore and taste what potential flavors you could get from wood chips or wood chunks, they do sell hot boxes, right? You can go to your local Home Depot, your local Lowe's, and you can...
Wait, local? Excuse me?
What did you just say?
Lowe's. And you can get... you can get a hot box and you put that wood chunk or that wood chip inside that box, and the box is going to heat up enough where the wood's going to start to burn, right? So you're going to start to get that smoke, just how we have coming out from
Exactly.
the
We're gonna get that smoke, that right
You're
smoke.
going to get that smoke. So you can still get that flavor out of a gas grill to an extent. It is not comparable by any means if you really go into a traditional charcoal with wood logs or wood smoker,
Right.
or you go into something like what you're describing to us here today, where you're using natural wood charcoal, but
Right.
it preserves so much of that heat with such small amount of wood,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So yeah, that's why if I had to pick, I think anyone when I try to get them into doing charcoal grilling, I always reference the Kamado style grills, and I will always go after Char-griller because I think that for when we're looking at cost comparison, I just think it's unbeatable for having something that is so incredibly efficient. So I would say, probably 3 to 4 times a week I'm outside cooking, and that's usually my main vehicle for making dinner happen.
Not bad, not bad.
Perfect.
I mean, I like to, smoke out my entire meals for the week. So I sit out there with that, that grill. And
Yeah, I've seen you eat.
You see,
Yeah, you knowing
y'all
Prada's on lunch.
y'all hate me when I'm on lunch. I know that.
You know
I don't
he's on
hate you.
lunch
I wanna
because you
steal your
smell it
lunch.
from the
That's what I wanna
front.
Y'all hate me when I'm
I
on
walk
lunch.
in
I
the
know
back
that.
and I'm like, oh, Prada's on lunch right now. I
You
smell,
smell
it.
So you don't even need to be in the back. You smell that darn thing from the front.
Just
You know, it
burnt
goes through your
popcorn.
veins.
It
Yeah.
goes to the front.
All right. But now that we've gone into here we go with the smoke again. Let's go over to the next beer in the lineup, right? Next beer we
Well,
are
no, you have to
official-
answer this question before we
Which
go to
one?
the next beer.
Where-
Where is the nearest whole store?
It you can
Oh.
put you can eliminate the H. You can add in a W somewhere in between. It's called Lowe's. All right.
All right, all right. Let's get to this next beer. What's up? What's
If
up?
not, you
What
can
we
go
got?
to your nearest Home Depot. They already have their stuff pre-assembled. And again, the grills that we were talking about tonight are specifically char grillers. The Char-griller 50/50, which is the one that I've been describing, the one that I have at home, and the Char-griller
Acorn.
15-inch
Acorn.
Acorn. And that one is probably next on my shopping list.
That one actually has me kind of like.
That one has me intrigued
Thinking of getting
for
that small one.
a camping add-on to my list of crazy things I already have.
Or a tailgate.
Same.
It
Or a
looks
tailgate.
perfect for a tailgate.
Or
All right.
I already know I need to put a towing hook to the back of my car because I got so much crap that I'm gonna have to get a little cart just to transport some of my shit. Yeah, no lie there. Yeah.
All right, what we got next?
We got next is the one with the black lid, and both of these beers are called the same, but they only have one difference in the ingredients.
Really?
Yes, there's only one difference to this equation. They both range in at a 10.5% APV. This one right here is called Demon Portal
Ooh.
Stout. All right, so
I really like the design of that.
this was the only one that they
The
already had
upside-down
pre-bottled
cross, it's
out
crazy.
of the ones that I picked up that day at the brewery. Demon Portal Stout is our Imperial Stout aged with Haven Hill and Old Fergereld bourbon barrels for 10 months. So it's been aged in a barrel for 10 months. I should have had food before coming to this podcast, bro.
Yeah,
Damn.
no.
Hey,
But
I
I'm
think there's a
feeling good. It's all
McDonald's
good.
close.
What? What was
I
that?
think there's a McDonald's close.
Nah, it's all right. That ain't gonna do.
There's a 7-Eleven. They got the best pizza. $5, you get a full box of pizza.
I don't know
That
how
was-
I
Let me
feel
tell
about that
you,
pizza.
Okay,
I
10
feel
out of
like
10.
that's a $5 laxative.
What are you trying to say? That's
it's
Old Fitzgerald.
the best pizza you have ever had. I promise.
Which pizza?
7-Eleven pizza. It's $5. You get a box of pizza. 10 out of 10. And their nachos.
Nah, man, but it's too like.
Nah, I
dope
don't know how
Let
I
me
feel
tell
about
you,
that.
the
around
reason
here?
I know
Nah.
it's right in front of Sandbar. I live right by Sandbar on Old Cutler, and that's where we always end up on the golf cart.
I feel like that's a $5 laxative waiting for
It's
me to
not
take.
though.
Actually, it's not. They actually do have a pretty good pizza.
You
Not
see?
gonna lie,
You could vouch.
pretty good.
Don't
Now, I'm
knock
not
it till you
saying-
try it, okay?
I'm a pizza person. Like it's good.
It's not
like
the
I need quick
best,
pizza.
but it's a great like tipsy drunk type of food.
No, I'm
Okay.
probably
You
gonna go
should-
to like Mamma
Look,
Mia
it's right there.
or
Go ahead.
Ferrari's.
Ooh, Mamma Mia has.
Ferrari.
Ferrari's got good pizza too.
Let's get over to this beer because I am hungry and y'all making me hungrier. All right,
Boys hungry
y'all
over here.
making me hungrier. All right, so let's get this Demon Portal Stout. And I haven't said anything this entire episode, but shout out to Evan, who was the dude at the brewery who helped me out. He did give me quite a good number of samples, so I can have a little bit of all the beers that they had there and have a good idea of what I was going to choose for this podcast episode. So looking at Demon Portal Stout, this is the one that does not have the extra ingredient added to the equation. The next one that we'll be tasting after this will be the same beer with an additional add-on to the equation. So let's get some cups out.
That other one too. Just
yeah, we could bring the other bottle out so you can take a look at both of them. They ain't much difference in the artwork. I ain't gonna lie.
Jeez.
The only difference here is
What an echo.
The wax top.
the wax top, right? So one of them had just a regular beer cap. The other one is literally identical next to one another. But if I bring it down here, you'll see that this one has a wax top on it versus the other one having a non-wax top. So this one's the one with the additional add-on to the formula, which we'll be tasting next after this stout now.
Actually, just put it next to it and then open it later.
Yeah, I could leave it up there. I was going to keep it
But
cool
now
for
it's
y'all.
not going to stay as cold.
Exactly.
Stouts don't have to
Drink
be
quickly.
ice cold though. Shouldn't stouts traditionally be a little bit closer to room temp?
Yeah, room
I
temperature.
like
You're right.
everything
Yep.
cold.
That's why I told you. Like,
Take
Nah,
it's like a bottle of
dark
wine.
and
Caitlin,
thick.
I'm going to leave you at, we can serve more than that. They still got to serve 5 cups though, so let me determine out of a smaller bottle here.
Looks like
I think that's
coffee.
fine.
Looks like coffee. It is going to taste slightly like coffee. I'm glad you brought that up. How close to coffee do you want to relate it? That's going to be on you.
And
But
apparently
then
this
you're
was
gonna taste
chosen
it.
for me. Nathi chose it for me.
This was chosen by the wife for Hyro specifically. So I am ready to see what he says about this beer. I know he likes his stouts.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we have other viewers out there who love their stouts. Who was on a prior episode.
Ooh.
Let me see here. Who do I need
Smells like
to pass this
chocolatey
to?
dog food.
Smells like chocolatey dog food. Wow. What a description to give it.
Hey,
Man.
whatever. Smell
All right,
doesn't
and I'm gonna-
have to do anything with taste.
Have you had that one have you had from that cup already, Caitlin?
Have I drank from this
Yeah.
one? Yeah.
Yeah, you did? All right.
Why?
Because I forgot to put one in front of the camera, but that's all good.
Here, I had
Y'all-
a tiny bit.
Yeah, just put it there in front of the camera and then we can go back to it. I'm going to put the remaining portion in this cup so I can drink.
That
And
looks
then-
like molasses.
You know what? Now actually
But
molasses
it's
I
just-
think is a note that comes out of
Yeah,
here.
I didn't think that's what like that looks. Just have like a nice little sugar. Ooh.
I'm going to go change the oil in my car and then put it into this cup.
Mhm.
This looks like what you drained out of your car when you were
Yep.
changing the oil.
This is not bad.
All right.
A lot smoother than I thought. Like this.
The smell of it is actually remotely smooth for a stout. I've had other stouts that have smelled a whole lot
Other
stronger.
snouts.
Snouts? Stouts.
That's the empty stomach kicking in.
See, you look at Zeus too much.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Not bad. What do you guys...
It's
Oof.
probably my least favorite so far.
I hope the next one that has a hint of something else will mature
I mean,
that
it's
flavor
not
for you a little bit.
bad. It's not bad. Just nothing that I would be like, oh yeah, I have to get this one again.
So going into the dark beer world, if you had to pair this with a dish,
Oof. Man, why am I always the first one that you ask about dishes?
because you're always the first one that tastes it before the rest of us.
Let me try it again.
That's what you get for being so excited.
You know, alcohol, I get excited.
No.
Let's see.
If I had to choose a dish for this, oof.
Yeah, I'm still trying to think about what type of dish I would want with this.
I need
You know
something
me,
to
I'd
counterbalance.
eat it with anything, but I'm trying to find something that
You'll
actually
eat it with
tastes
anything.
really good with something. Well, you know.
I feel like stouts in this regard, I'm still getting something dessert wise. Unfortunately, this isn't my normal cup of tea. I usually don't go this dark with this beer. But I could probably, if I were to eat this with something, I'd say it has to go with some sort of like a pot roast or something that's gonna help absorb it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing too
Pot
bright
roast
with
potatoes.
Yeah, pot roast and
something like-
potatoes. Actually, I just
something
this
hard.
past week, if you guys know who this guy's name's Malcolm Reed, he's got a channel called How to Barbecue Right. He's actually who I learned a lot of my stuff from online. He's got a recipe for something called Mississippi pot roast sandwiches,
Ooh.
and it's a
That
chuck
sounds
roast.
good.
It's a chuck roast that you season with just salt, pepper, garlic, smoke it, toss it in a Dutch oven with a whole stick of butter, a packet of dry ranch seasoning, au jus gravy seasoning, some pepperoncini peppers, close the lid, and then you let it slow cook for an extra few hours and it shreds apart.
Woo!
That was exceptional. I think I would eat a plate of it with this.
Okay, yeah, I think that right there.
The one that you need to go taste is the one that's there in the bottom of the comments.
What is that? Hold on.
You
Want me
need
read
to
the
go
comment?
over there. You need to go to that brewery and you need to taste that beer because that's the beer you would like.
Chip City.
Where's
with
Chip
bright
City?
berry chocolate chip.
Where's Chip City located?
No, that's just the name of the beer.
Oh, it's the name of the beer.
That's
Where
the
can
name
I
of the
get
beer.
that at?
That
Okay.
is at Lincoln Beard Brewing.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Same
All right,
brewery.
so I gotta try
but
Chip City.
This was one of the stouts that they would not put in a growler for you. This one and they don't have this pre-bottled like
so
they
you
have for
had to
these.
drink it
You
there.
So you had to drink
Okay.
it there, and I think that stout was a whole lot smoother and sweeter in the stout spectrum than this one is.
This is pretty sweet though.
It
that
is.
was
Like,
the next one is you're
I
gonna
have a very sweet taste to it.
okay.
Yes.
Is that
That's what I
what
like
is that
about
what
it.
kills your taste buds with that beer, or is it
I don't know if it's like that bitter taste to it.
that coffee bean bitterness?
Yeah, I don't know.
I kind of like that like we were talking about like this chocolatey molasses like feel.
It does have like a
it's
chocolate,
like dark chocolate, like
a
cooking
chocolate taste to
That-
it.
It's not just chocolate; it's the cooking
I
chocolate.
mean,
but
and
it's
then
a bit bitter.
there,
Like,
there
I
are
like that.
those of us out there with a weaker stomach, which this would be like a laxative to.
You know,
Yeah.
I think that what could make this for anybody is you just need a little bit of sweetened condensed milk, like maybe a
Ooh.
Oh,
teaspoon
it would
per
be like an
serving,
iced coffee.
and like an
Ooh,
iced
And then
coffee, and
so
just
good.
toss it in here. Like I
That
think
actually would go.
this is growing on me, but I think that if it was in there from the get go, I would have drank this a lot faster.
Okay.
I could see it over ice with milk.
Yeah,
Now that you
like,
mentioned
you
that,
know
it's like you know what? This could be a nice coffee.
this is the morning starter.
Yeah, this is what I need to get my day started.
And I'm glad you brought that up. Is I believe that Guinness does have a beer that's already pre-caffeinated. They classify it as
Get that smoke.
as a coffee beer blend, right? And it's arranged in at about 5% APV.
The Irish coffee.
I didn't like it. I tried it. I tried the Guinness version and I bought it and I had it in the cooler and I tried it one day and I was like,
No te gustó.
no, man, I wouldn't do this. I would not.
Okay,
I
está
wouldn't
bien.
have this as a stout. I wouldn't have this as a coffee beer. I feel like you can blend other beers, other stouts out there with some sort of coffee mix that blend in better than that one.
Mhm.
If I had to give it a rating number when I tasted that one, I gave it like a 3.5. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't something I would buy on a daily basis. Now, we had to give this one a rating number after tasting this one from Lincoln Beard Brewing Co. What would you guys rate this?
Chen and I give it a 4.
Gave it a 4.
I already had a 4. Chen threw up the 4 at the same time I was about to say it. So
I would say a 3.
I give it 3.
You
Okay.
give it a 3. Did I tell you guys what the APV level on this was?
No, you did not.
About 14.
This one's 10.5.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
that's up
Little
there.
baby.
Oh, it'll sneak up.
So
Like,
it'll
if
sneak
you're-
up on you if you're a
If you
beginner.
have it as iced coffee, then it'll definitely
You're like,
sneak up.
yay. And you're like,
Yay,
yay.
it's a
delicious.
silent crawler. Yeah. But the next one we're going to be jumping into next is also a 10.5.
Okay.
It is a bourbon barrel aged beer,
With the same name.
same name, but they added a different ingredient to this that wasn't in the first one, and that
What's that ingredient?
vanilla.
Ooh.
Vainilla.
So there's a vanilla taste to this one that wasn't in the first stout that we just had. Again, they both have the same name, so now we're jumping into the vanilla Demon Portal bourbon barrel aged stout.
Yo, cut that top. I want it now. That's it. I love
Cut
vanilla.
that
So I was
top.
like,
Where's that special bottle opener you got? Because I know that this ain't gonna do the job
What
like
special
we
bottle
tried
opener?
Don't
last
cut your
time.
finger over there.
It's got to go through the glass to get it to my finger, but
I don't know.
it might get to my other finger ahead of time. No, yeah, we're gonna need your bottle opener.
yeah, I'm going to need my bottle to open that up.
Why can't it be
Does
like
everyone know,
Woodford
like, we're trying to
Reserve? It's
open up
got
this
that
bottle
pull
'cause it got
tab
a
on
wax
the,
on
on the
Right.
wax.
They're
You
missing
know?
out on that pull tab,
It's all wax. We're trying to open it up.
bro. This is
The wax is fighting us.
yeah, this wax is thick. You know?
Now we got some smoke.
That ain't gonna help us. I can't see shit with a smoke. Oh, Chen, you added 50 cents to the equation here, bro. There we go. That's
All right.
giving us access to
now
the
we
lid.
we have access.
And now
Everyone
we are,
on the podcast, if you can't see us right now, we are
struggling
trying,
over here.
we are hustling our way through
There
this
we go. Woo!
waxed tip.
If you on the podcast, come look at us live on our YouTube and our Twitch.
All right.
Can I recycle my same cup?
You can definitely recycle your same cup for this beer. I feel
Really?
like they are both very well within the
If
same
we're
range.
just adding the vanilla in, let's
Yo,
let's
did I
see.
leave anything in this bottle?
If not, give it to me.
Chug it.
There we go.
All right, that bottle empty. We are recycling here, cup one.
Here we are being.
The viscosity
Earthquake.
on that is so thick. Like watching a stout get poured is
It is thick. You want to recycle that same one?
Ooh.
I think
Ooh,
that's why I
baby.
might not be fond of it, is because of the thickness of the beer.
Oh man,
It's too dark and thick.
it's too dark.
there's no such thing.
God damn it. God damn it.
This just keeps on escalating all the different directions.
Hold on,
Check.
check.
Yo.
You got your cup. Oh, pour it in one of the red cups.
Let me put this one in front of the cam. So let's put this one here in front of the camera,
Yeah, we did the camera one. We did the Chen
which will be my cup, and then this will be Chen's cup.
You got to show love to the producer.
Gotta show love to the producer, man.
Behind the scenes.
Hand that way, and I'll take that back. All right. So again, we're sticking with the same label here on this one. They didn't do much of a difference in the artwork of the bottle, but it was differentiated by having a white waxed head cap,
So you know which one you're taking.
so you know which one you were tasting. All right. But as far as the bottle artwork, it was the same. So let me know what you guys think about this one versus the first one we tasted there, and I'll
Ooh.
find the description here in my notes
Okay.
as you guys start tasting.
Wow.
The description of this one was Imperial Stout aged in Heaven Hill and old Fitzgerald barrels for 10 months. Fitzgerald barrels for 10 months, and finished with a Madagascar and Ugandan vanilla beans.
You can definitely taste the vanilla at the end.
Yes.
All right.
Like the end taste is definitely where I taste the vanilla at least.
Okay. So like the after flavor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's as you breathe out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Breathe in.
Breathe out.
Breathe
So it's you take it in, you swallow, and then you just exhale, and,
And
Yeah,
it's
you just
vanilla.
swallow,
It's like
and then
magic.
you got two different flavors, right?
Yeah.
I think the flavor the flavor notes
Out
on
of
this one are
control.
You know, like Barata says, you just got to swallow.
Ridiculous.
I'm trying to keep the beer in my mouth here, guys.
Apparently, you try to keep other things.
I can't see shit. Camera can't even see me.
Looking like Cheech.
Oh man.
that's somewhere in the comments down there.
Someone in the comments on that?
Yeah, you got Cheech and John living.
What with the adding of the vanilla flavor, the vanilla beans to this equation, do you guys feel there's a major difference between the original and this one? Or do they kind of slant in the
Definitely
same
gives it a
spectrum?
different flavor profile. Not like insanely different, but like I said, like the aftertaste. You get a little vanilla. Algo un poquito a little bit different.
A little bit, but it's enough.
Exactly.
Like it's like the perfect touch of vanilla to it.
Yeah. Now, my rating on this is probably gonna stay the same as the other one. For me, it's still a 4. Still really good.
I'm
but
gonna
it's
stick
still
with
a
you
4.
on that 4.
I don't think I rated the last one, but I would put this at least a quarter to a half a point higher. The flavor notes in this, it's not a different beer, but it goes down much differently. I think I could tolerate a bottle of this versus the other one. And personally, I'm just not a stout drinker. But I like this. I think that this is something where I could definitely have a good 2 or 3 glasses as a dessert. You know,
pack this down a little more than the other one.
yeah.
Would you
Chen throwing up 5s.
Chen throwing out
4.5.
Four.
Sorry.
4.5.
4.5. I thought I saw
Chen
5.
throwing
I
out
only saw the
4.5.
5.
Would you soak some pork chops
Ooh.
in this for about 2 days before you put it into a smoker?
Pork chops. Make a glaze out of it.
Yeah, stouts are actually more common to be used for something like a glaze or something, but I've never thought to use it as a marinade. But there's just something about me that using beer or alcohol as a marinade is wasteful because there's no recovery of that unless it's going into the dish to evaporate or cook into it. If you have to pour and discard excess marinade, to me, that's you just poured it down the drain.
If I know the beer's that good, I'm just gonna drink it afterwards.
Yeah.
Ew.
Look, if it's talking about me, I'm
That's
still probably gonna drink it
nasty.
even before I even try anything.
No, but I feel like putting this into some pork chops, and sitting it there for 24 to 48 hours
I might try it
before you put this into a smoker it would give it a nice aftertaste to it.
I'm interested.
Other than the smoke flavor of it, of course, but I feel it would give it a nice aftertaste.
Well, a lot of people are not so privy to knowing this, but one of the biggest things that I like to do when it comes to things like this is my wife is a huge baker and doing smoked baked goods. So you can smoke cookies, you can smoke brownies, you can smoke heavy cream and turn it into smoked ice cream. So this also
That sounds
yes,
good.
Damn, you took
sir.
it. You took it
Damn,
next
now
level.
so-
we're
That
taking
really
it to a whole
good.
different tier.
This leads me to believe, and I'm a huge fan of chocolate covered espresso beans. So my wife just made chocolate ice cream the other day.
Mm.
This in some sort of like a rich dark chocolate ice cream with those coffee beans, something else. It needs something else to counteract on texture, but this to me should be an ice cream. I would eat the hell out of it if it was ice cream.
Boy.
All right, I can see that. Yeah, I would eat this if it was an ice cream. Yeah.
Come on, Slowpoke.
All right. So, yeah, you call me slow. Hold up.
Yo, don't look at mine. Let me hide it behind my jacket.
Don't worry, you're
All
a
right, guys.
guest.
So we
You're
covered-
savoring.
I'm
We covered a
savoring the
Pilsner.
vanilla.
covered a Pilsner. We covered a IPA.
We did.
We covered a sour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we covered 2 stouts.
We went a little bit around the world there.
So we went
I
a
like
little bit
that.
around the world, and then we covered some great barbecue ideas, as well
Mhm.
as a nice 15-inch diameter barbecue to have if you are a outdoors on the go person, or a simple, you want to pregame before a football game, and you want to have a little barbecue by the car, or you want to have something that you can put, what was it, 6 burgers?
Yeah, 6 to 8 depends
You
on
can
how
have
you're
you
small.
can have a little balcony in an apartment. Like I said before, a lot of these small ones are really good for those things. Some
it's
people
a hit or
don't got
miss.
all that space, but
Your HOA might frown on using a charcoal
Yeah.
grill on your balcony.
That's a hit or miss depending on your HOA.
they don't need to know.
Well, that
Yeah.
cloud of smoke wafting
The
down the
smoke.
entire street. Let me tell you, when I got a brisket
Hey, you know
cooking, all the people walking their dogs all of a sudden find my backyard so much
Ah.
faster. It's crazy.
See, this is how you make friends. Maybe
Well,
HOA
I was-
might give you a discount.
I was smoking a brisket the other day in the backyard, and the front door neighbor was asking my mother-in-law if the house was on fire. There was so much darn smoke coming out from that side of the yard. They thought something was on fire in the backyard. I was like, no, they're just
Just
barbecuing.
cooking.
No.
Nah, I'm just doing my podcast.
No.
Smoke from.
So, any other comments for any of the beers you guys taste tonight? Any other comments for the barbecues we showed here today? Or any other comments for the everyday carry flashlights that you can potentially find yourselves out there for everyday
I really
use?
want to get that USB-C one.
You want to get
that
the
one-
USB-C one?
That
I'll
one
send you-
actually, I was like, that grill, the Acorn, has me.
That grill
To
does
get
have me a little
that-
intrigued. I ain't
I
gonna lie.
might buy it.
There's like I said, there's plenty. And if anyone has any questions on here, feel free to hit me up at Smoke While You Drink on Instagram. I do grilled, smoked, sauteed, whatever type of barbecue you want and cooking outdoors. And I've always got craft beer on hand posted with all my cooks that I do. But please feel free to hit me up if you have any individual questions. I'd be more than happy to help you out.
All right, for sure. And then for those of you watching on the YouTube channel, man, make sure you follow us on Outdoors, Brews, and Barbecue on our podcast channel. We're out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and multiple different podcast sources out there.
Yeah, you got YouTube. You got us on
You got
Twitch.
a YouTube channel as well. You got us on Twitch.
The chat's from Twitch, so
Yeah. So,
get up on there.
any other
Caitlin?
questions we have for tonight, Caitlin?
No,
No?
I just have to get a list of all the ones that we tried tonight because I might be
Oh,
going
they-
and getting them.
Okay.
They will be listed under the podcast itself. We'll have the name of each beer and the website to the brewery. So you guys can look up the address right through the website and find your direction there. All right. Any other
Thank
questions for tonight?
No,
We all set?
I think we're all good.
That's
Great.
it for Outdoors, Brews, and Barbecue for tonight's episode. Until the next one, guys. Later.
Peace.
I'm a little lit. But I'm good.
A little
Okay.
lit.
Go get that 7-Eleven pizza.
Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald, bro.
Deuces.